Hi everyone and welcome back, and judging by this title of the video, you can guess it's about the project area that we're making as an extension to the teaching lab down here on the 6th floor. Project lab is going to be upstairs on the 9th, and the reason why we're building a project lab is because student numbers are going up, the lab is continuously in use, and you third and fourth year project students and MSc students are finding it increasingly difficult to find space, whenever you want it during the week, especially when you've got first year, second year lab sessions running, broadband labs running, and so on. So half the time you can't get into the lab, so that's why we're building a project space for you. Now, some of you will already know about this, so it's no new news, but for newcomers to the department, new first years coming in, you will have a dedicated project area where you can go to do all your hardware-based projects. So brilliant, thumbs up. And for those of you who don't know, we're undergrads at the moment. Yes, you are getting more space, so don't panic if you feel that that you can't do your work in the lab. We're getting there. So we are addressing that problem. And for everybody else out there in the world that's interested in a lab build and what goes into it, you might find it interesting. So we're going to go from the ground up, prepping the room, refurbishing it, getting people moved out, getting the new kit and benches all moved in, the electrics done, flooring done, all that kind of stuff, and the kit that goes in there as well. So what we'll do is I'll take you up to the 9th floor now, show the room where it's going to happen, and the progress that we made so far. If you're interested, at the end of this video I'll run through a couple of the plans, some bench layouts, and the type of kit that you're going to be using in there, what we're getting in for you to play with, and the general layout, so a couple of the floor plans, bench plans, and so on. Right, let's go walking. I'll have to apologise in advance, camera will be shaky, my hands are getting old. See you later. Well, not later, see you in about a few seconds. Alright, and this is room 905 where your project area is going to be, formerly the Eric Ash room. Now a postgraduate research office, as you can see. Postgrads have been busy, started boxing up their stuff in here, getting ready for the big move, and this is what we're waiting on, for these guys to clear off out of here, then we can really start breaking ground in this place. Stuff that's got to be changed, well, round the walls, trunking, etc. That's all going to be changed. There's going to be extra power points put in those. Floors, as you can see, carpeted floors. Hate carpeted floors in lab. Down in the teaching lab we do have a carpeted floor, and that's an absolute nightmare. This is all going to be replaced with a solid floor. So carpet's got to come up, floors levelled, and then a nice solid surface put down. Reason for that is obviously maintenance. Components get caught up in the carpet and what have you, and you have to get down on your hands and knees to pick it all out, and that's a bloody pain in the butt. I hate doing that down in the lab, but it's got to be done. Hard floors you don't have to worry about. Other things that's going to get done, walls repainted, electrics go in, extra 13 amp plug sockets, whatever going around the walls for your electronics lab kit, etc. Also having commando sockets put on the walls for the benches. So having benches basically coming out from, if you can see my hand, from these pillars, out a couple of rows, some on the back wall, some down on that wall. You'll see all that in the plans, and the idea is that the bench spaces are actually going to be mobile. So unlike fixed benches like these desks and what have you, no wheels on the bottom so you can't move them about, the lab bench is going to be wheelable with brakes on the wheel so they don't skid about anywhere, and they can be plugged and unplugged from the walls. And the idea behind that is it makes the place a little bit more universal. So if you want a large working area, you can push the benches back against the wall, etc. work on your project in a large area, pull them back at the end. Someone else can use the benches or close up for big group project work and stuff like that, and yeah, all that kind of thing. Door at the end, there's 2 doors, entry into this room. Can't really do much about that. We would have liked 1 entry, seal up 1, get extra bench space in. Unfortunately, yeah, that didn't go down into the plans and no one actually finalised that. So, and yeah, projector up on the ceiling there, don't know if you can see that. That's staying along with the big screen for any you know, you want to do any presentation work with your supervisor, bash out ideas, stuff like that. Also going in up on that wall, big touch screen just like what we got down in the lab will be going in here. There'll be 3D printers, reflow ovens, soldering facilities, benches. You're going to have a whole heap of kit on them, as well as some storage space down here against the wall, probably for extra kit or the more expensive stuff, which we won't get a lot in of, but you'll get access to, so you pick it up, take it to your benches and do whatever you want with, put back at the end. And it's going to be very much a you know, a bit like a hot desks type of lab. You come in here, you work on your project, end of the day you tidy it away, next person comes in, they can work on it, and you'll migrate around benches. But obviously sometimes they will have to be fixed placements. Anyway, that's this place. This is where you're going to be. But like I said, we have to move these guys out first, and they've all got their kit all more or less sorted out. Yeah, so once these gone, benches can come out and we can start stripping the place. Ceiling's staying in, aircon, everything like that. That doesn't need to be touched, so it just needs, you know, walls, floors, electrics, sorting out. Anyway, these guys are going over to Mallet Place Engineering, which I will show you next. Right then, so this is Mallet Place Engineering, and before we could actually get anybody out of 905, we had to sort out this area. So what you're looking at here is a postgrad research facility, all office benches. Guys from 905 are coming down on these benches here, and this room had to be completely, you know, more or less half it had to be gutted, and all these benches remodernised, reorganised, new furniture coming in and what have you. We had to get every workstation that you can see set up down here. We had to pack up, store away. That took us, you know, best part of a couple of days. Benches had to go out, new benches had to come in, and then we had to pull out all the stuff all over again, rewire all the benches, get all the Ethernet reinstalled in all the benches. As you can see down there, got some trading wires everywhere, but we had to make do with what we could because there's floor traps all over the place which we couldn't, you know, use. Anyway, this is where 905 is coming into, so I will leave you there. That's just like moving house. People in, people out, make space, and yeah. That's the state that we're in at the moment, is moving people around, getting 905 cleared, and then we can start work. So moving out is the next phase into here. Alright then, back in the office, and so that was the general layout, what we got, and what you can see up on your screen now. Hopefully you can hear me, because I'm on my desktop microphone while I'm doing this. Is the floor plan for the actual lab that we're going to be putting together. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13 bench spaces. Again, I have mobile, underbench storage and storage cabinet against the wall. LCD, just like what we've got in the lab, big touchscreen one against the wall. We're not too sure. Either that's going to be mobile or it's going to be fixed to the wall. We're thinking a mobile one, because that'll be, you know, make it much more usable. Screen is still going to be Projector and screen still going to be up on the wall over here, hopefully. Depends what kit that we actually get out on benches and how we lay out this place. Now, then when this goes in, there's going to be basically possibly soldering areas either along the back wall down here or down here with a reflow oven, possibly a small little pick and place area where if you SMD stuff with microscopes, just like what we got in the lab. The I showed on the last video, the Mantis microscopes for detailed work. That's the general layout. As you can see, that rear door that I would like to get rid of, unfortunately, we're stuck with it. And we can't put any benches, we can't box it in, it's got to stay clear for fire access and all that kind of stuff. More sockets going in, you can see them all down around the walls, extra ones going in. And each of these benches are going to be independent. So they're all going to have independent power and network capability, all going back to the wall, to quad data sockets, and in yellow here, the commando sockets. So you can have something like 16 amp, up to 16 amp going per bench, and these can be daisy chain two together back to the wall, or they can be all independent back to the wall, depending on power requirements and so on. Now then, what's going on to the benches, that's what I'll run through next. Alright, well this is a model of what the bench will look like with a kit on it once it goes in there. Each bench space will be set up like this. 2 desktop computers. They're going to be on movable arms, so you can shift screens about, etc. Keyboard and mouse as usual. A very similar setup to what we've got downstairs on the 6th floor in the lab. As you can see, they're all on arms. While we go to the benches, down on the benches, apart from the PCs, we're going to have a Rigel digital multimeter. They're the same ones that we've got in teaching lab. Keithley power supplies down the bottom there. So you've got Keithley power supply, triple output. And to replace the function generator and the oscilloscope, we're putting in picoscopes. These little boxes. Basically, it's 2-channel oscilloscope, digital capability, so it's in actual fact it's a MSO, mixed signal oscilloscope, so you can view your analog and your digital at the same time, so you can decode digital buses, your SPI, your I2C, CAN, LIN, all that kind of stuff. They'll be useful for your projects. And they'll be connected through to the desktop screens, so you'll see your scope traces on the screens, etc. All the other kit on your benches will also be connected through USB to the desktop should you need to use any of those. Remote connect to them, set them up to do sweeping functions, etc. You have the multimeter to do maybe a data storage, data capture over time and what have you. You can also do that on the picoscope if you want. So you've got that functionality. Signal generator, that's all built into the picoscope. I'll just rotate this around so you can see. There you go. There's the rear of the picoscope. That's scope output. Scope output. Signal generator output. It's an arbitrary signal generator, again controlled via USB from the desktop computer. So basically all the hardware to control your scope and your signal generator and your digital I/O and what have you, that is all in the box, and all the processing power is done on your desktop. Now, I'm not a big fan of these little boxes, which is why we are also supplying some standard scopes and MSOs in the storage cabinets that are going to be up there. So if you don't get along with those, you can always drag out a normal scope if you really want, put it on your bench, work with that. But the idea is to keep it small. One of the problems that we have down in the lab is space on the bench top. once you get 2 PCs on the benches, a couple of power supplies, you know, your keyboard and your mouse and everything else, it doesn't leave you without much room to work on your project. So having the Picos, you know, you are saving yourself a little bit of real estate, and you've got, you know, working area all down front here if you move your cables to the centre, or, you know, out of the way. I'm thinking about doing some bit like some pouches or something where you can slot these keyboards and mice into, because we are looking at getting wireless ones, wireless keyboards and mice. That way there's no trailing wires, etc., getting in your way. So some thought has gone into it. The power is going to be run onto these benches. There's going to be a power bar along the back of this that isn't actually in this diagram, because when I drew this out, we haven't actually decided how we're going to route power onto these benches, whether it'll be under the bench, on top of the bench, etc. But we're going to go on top and under. So you're going to plug block on top of the bench for your laptops, any extra kit, etc. And we're going to have underbench power for all the main kit that's going to be permanently plugged in. Benches are going to be supplied by bot with mobile. You know, the mobile ones are on wheels. They're going to be lockable. I bloody hope that's what Gerald was ordered, is the lockable ones. Otherwise, we're going to have floating desks everywhere. They'll be rolling about as you work on them. And yeah, that's the general bench layout as it looks. So 2 power supplies per bench, 2 DMMs per bench, 2 picoscopes per bench, 2 screens per bench. You can work on a bench on your own. You can work on a bench in pairs if you want. It's entirely up to you. The room itself is more or less going to be a, you know, open access for third and fourth year projects. It's not going to be open access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week kind of thing, because we need to supply you with supervision on what have you in there. But yeah, it should hopefully solve the problems of a overflowing lab and increasing teaching numbers. So you'll have your own little dedicated working area should you not get into the lab downstairs. Down here on the 6th, you can work upstairs on the night in the swanky new project lab that's going in. But like I said, we're waiting on postgrads to move out. All their desks are all ready. They're all powered up, all Etherneted up over in MPB, Managed Place Engineering Building. They just have to move in and we can start work. Hopefully once work gets started, we can get a lab up and running reasonably quickly. And I'm going to leave you there. And next time I'll do a update to this video. Hopefully we'll be starting to strip out the room, and I'll show you exactly, you know, what goes into a build-up of the lab. Right. I will see you next time.